Well, I am Karin Ahlzén. I'm an architect and I work as a project coordinator at the Urban Development Department in the City of Stockholm. And of course, the City of Stockholm has a vision for Kista. And you can see it in the comprehensive plan or the city plan of Stockholm, where Kista is one of 4 focus areas. This is the place where urban development shall take place, will take place. This is where the City of Stockholm wants to have more urban development. And as you can see, it's Kista-Järva is one of these focus areas. But the history in Stockholm, the history of Kista and the visions for Kista, we have had a number of different kind of visions. This is a master plan from 2001, and a lot of the things you see on this master plan is actually taking place right now. And you don't have to see this detailed, but it shows a mixed city. A city with both workplaces, schools and universities, and more housing areas, more residential areas, a more mixed city than Kista is today. And this is one of the goals that Stockholm City has had for Kista for several years, since 2001. And then in 2019, another new master plan for Kista was developed at the urban planning department in Stockholm. And here you can see the cover of that. And like the old plan, it has this figure and this map that illustrate the possibilities in Kista. And this map also shows a mixed city, more housing units to create a more vibrant area in Kista. And in this plan you can see it has also a broader, it's a bigger area that is illustrated in this plan. So this map also shows that the City of Stockholm wants to connect, through urban development, connect the different parts of this area, Kista, Husby and Akalla, the districts close to Kista. And one of the most important challenges or most important factors is the question of density. Because if you compare Kista with some of the parts of the city center, in this picture we show Kista and Södermalm, that is almost the same size, but you can see that the number of inhabitants are much, much lower in this part of the city. And if there are not so many inhabitants, we don't have the same amount of services, restaurants, cafe, vibrant city life, attractors to become a more attractive city. You follow? So to make this place of this part of the city more dense and more is one of the most important tasks if we want to make it a more vibrant and more attractive area. And today there is a lot of urban development going on in this part of the city. These colored dots on this map shows ongoing urban planning in this part of the city. And this is approximately 10,000 new housing units, 10,000 new flats. And in the City of Stockholm, we count 2.5 people living in each flat. So you can multiply 10,000 new flats with 2.5 persons that will move to this part of the city within 10 or 15 years from now. So this is a great opportunity for Kista or for this part of Stockholm. And this is a illustration from the last vision document of Kista, and it also shows a vision of more tolerant architecture in Kista. In Kista, we allow us to more high-rise building to create this more dense city. And that was the first part of my presentation, because now I'm going to talk more about attractiveness and attractivity and what challenges we see in the urban area and what kind of urban qualities we are missing in Kista today. So let's start with saying welcome to Kista. And as you all know, Kista is one of the most attractive business areas in Stockholm, with a world-famous ICT cluster. But it is also like this. Welcome to Kista. Today it has a lot of lack of urban qualities. So from far behind, and the rumor about Kista is very attractive, but when you walk the streets of Kista, it is a little bit empty. And the facades are a little bit closed. And you don't meet someone on the streets. And when we talk about this and interview people working in Kista, we meet these kinds of reactions. I have one word to say about Kista: boring. And of course, there's a lot of factors that come into this, and it's a complex questions about attractivity. And Kista faces a lot of challenges today. The urban plan and the urban design is in a way monofunctional and divided. We have the business area on one side of the subway and the living area on the other side. A lot of the buildings are very large scale, and there is also long distances to walk between different parts of Kista today. And the buildings are a little bit introvert, closed facades. And there is also a perception of unsafety. People believe or feel insecure or unsafe at night, or when they walk home from their office. Kista today, this is a very what do you say? Simplified picture, but in a way it's like this. We have the offices and the workplace on one side of the subway, and then we have the housing units on the other side. And the shopping center and the subway is in a way a barrier. The shopping center is also a connecting place in a very interesting way. It's both a barrier, but it's also a place where it's one of the most vibrant places in Kista, actually. It is the place where the people who lives in Kista and the people who works in Kista actually meet. And it's on a lot of places there is a large scale and long distances as when you walk around in the city as a pedestrian, because a lot of people come to Kista today by car. 50% of all people working in Kista come to Kista by car today. And of course, this shows also in the urban area today. Very much large parking areas. And then you have to walk from these large parking areas on streets designed for cars. And the ways for pedestrian is also complicated on a lot of places. You have to cross traffic jams, there are illogical detours, you have to walk on different levels and so on. So it's not a very narrow way or easy way to walk in Kista today. And you walk along very closed facades. It is 17 kilometers closed facades in Kista. I think that's a city record. You can walk from the Avicii Arena to Kista along a closed facade, that's 17 kilometers. So it's quite long distance. And of course, if you need to walk that long distance beside these closed facades every day, that is not an attractive working area. And the feeling of safety and trust, I know some of my colleagues will talk a little bit more about that later. And we in Stockholm, we measure this every third year. We ask the people in Stockholm a lot of different questions about this. I just took one of the answers here. And the first column shows, in that district that I live, I can trust most people. And then you have the city in general on the top, and then you have this part of the city in the bottom. And the second column is, on overall, I find my part of the city a safe place to live in. And you have Stockholm in general in top, and then you have this part of the city in the bottom. And this is people's feelings. This is how they perceive the feeling of safety and the feeling of trust. But it is a democratic problem, of course. And for us who work with public spaces and the people who live in Stockholm, this is, of course, an important challenge. But, of course, Kista also have great opportunities to become a much more attractive urban district. We have so much in place already today. We have the tech and telecom heritage and a lot of big companies. And we also have 2 universities, world-leading universities here in Kista today. We have this architectural freedom. We can build more high-rise building, more interesting architecture. We have a large number of people in the area, both who lives here and also working here. And of course, we can work together with them. We are close to Arlanda and the city. This place is connected to the city in a very good way. So of course, Kista can develop in a much more attractive way. Perhaps this is a picture of the future. This district is a glimpse of the future, said the mayor of Stockholm when she visited Kista last year. Thank you.